Options demystified. Now, what are we going to cover as part of this session? We're going to cover many things when it comes to options. And let me tell you, friends, at this juncture, that options are considered to be little complex to understand. But in my experience, maybe yes, when you begin delving into the options and derivatives, uh, they may appear to be a bit difficult in the beginning, but that's only in the beginning. As you start getting deeper into it, you will start realizing that they're not difficult, they're very interesting. So, what are we going to cover in this session today? We will start with what the options are, and then we will look at as to the underlying for the options can be. So remember, option is a derivative, and as a derivative it does not have its own existence, and that is what is called as derivative. It means what? It means it derives its existence from something else, and that something else can be anything. It can be share, it can be exchange rate, it can be a commodity, and things like that. Then we will understand what are the features of options, what are the benefits of options, and what are the types and styles of options. So just to tell you at the same time, there are two types of options that we have. One are known as American style options, and the other one is known as European style of options. So what those American or the European style options are, and what are their features, that we will understand. Then when it comes to options, remember there can be four possible trading positions in case of options, and this is what we really have to be very very meticulous in understanding as to what these four positions are, and when will you use these four positions. That is what we would discuss. Then we will understand the payoff. What is the payoff in case of an option, and when does the payoff happens in case of an option. Then we will talk about how payoff on an option is different from profit from the option. So please remember, when it comes to options, so there is something called as payoff, and there is something called as profit or loss. And please remember, the payoff and the profit are not same, they are different. We will understand as to how the payoff is different from the profit. And let me also tell you, at this point in time, we have structured this whole program in a way so that number one, you find these topics very easy to understand, and number two, you find them very easy to remember also, and number three, you are able to understand as to what kind of questions can come from this topic in your exam, and how you should be able to answer them very easily. And that is what we would discuss. Then of course we will take a break, and when I say break, that means what? That means we will spend some time revising as to what we have covered already. Then we will talk about parties to an option transaction. So there are call options, and there are put options. So call option will have two parties, put option will have two parties. Who these two parties are and what their rights and obligations are, that is what we will understand. Who decides the strike price or the exercise price? So remember, there are five elements when it comes to the options, and we will understand as to what those five elements are. And one of the key element in case of an option is the strike price, which is also known as exercise price. So what is the strike price? What is the exercise price? How it is decided? And what is the significance when it comes to the options? And then we will talk about how to buy, put or call options in case somebody wishes to get into the derivatives or wishes to get into options. So how will one be able to buy a put option or be able to write a call option or put option? How to sell, write, put and call options. So in case if tomorrow you wish to get into derivatives, and if you wish to delve into derivatives, if you wish to start transacting into options, then how will you be able to buy an option, or how will you be able to write an option or sell an option? Then we will understand something which is very interesting, and that is known as moneyness of options. And I can tell you, friends, on all these topics that I am discussing with you, you will find many questions appearing in your exam per day pertaining to all these topics. Then we will talk about how to find profit or loss in case of a call option holder. So someone who's bought an option, he is supposed to be the holder of the option. So how to calculate as to how much the profit that he has earned on this call option or the put option that he is holding. We will also find out as to how to figure out as to what is the profit or loss of a person who is holding a put option, or a person who has written a put option or who has written a call option. We will also understand margin system in option trading. Actually, there are margins in case of futures in any case, but there are margins in case of not for someone who is buying an option, but definitely margin requirements are there for someone who is selling an option, because somebody who is selling an option, he is taking an obligation, and since he is taking an obligation, just to cover the risk, the stock exchanges, or where the trading would happen, or these transactions would be executed, those exchanges would ensure that there is a good margin that is placed by the option writer, so that there is a least risk as far as the default is concerned. We will also understand the difference between the futures and the options, as to what is a future and what is an option, and how do they differentiate from each other. And finally, of course, we will look at summary of gains or losses in case of different options and future positions. And that is what is the agenda that we have as far as this topic is concerned. And let me now throw it open to every one of you. In case if you have any question or any doubt with regard to what we have discussed, we will take your questions and your doubt, and then of course start covering each of these topics one by one.